Welcome to biology class children. Today we are going to discuss structure of chloroplast. In our previous classes we have discussed so many activities and chapter 1 topics. Now we are going to draw the structure of chloroplast. What do you know about chloroplast? Chloroplast is an organelle. Organelle means what do you know about organelle? Organelle means a microscopic or tiny structure which can be seen under an electronic microscope only is called organelle. Today we are going to discuss the structure of chloroplast. Chloroplast. Where do we observe chloroplast? Chloroplast we can see only in case of plant cells. It can be absent in case of animal cell. Chloroplast can be seen in plant cell only, but not in a animal cell. What it indicates? It indicates that the chloroplast organelle permitted to plant cells only, not to the animal cells. But as the most of plant leaves are green in color because of the presence of chloroplast. But in case of humans, there is no chance to see any colors like green color. Why? What the reason? Because of the lack of chloroplast. Okay. So we are going to discuss the structure of chloroplast. If we observe the plant cells under the electronic microscope, there is a chance to see chloroplasts. Okay, these chloroplasts are green in color. Let us try to draw the structure of chloroplast. Chloroplast is a membranous organelle. Membranous means it has membranes around itself. How many membranes? 3 membranes. Chloroplast is a membranous organelle. Membranous means layers are there. How many layers are there? 3 layers are there. Now we are going to draw the structure of chloroplast. Let us try to draw the diagram along with me. You also draw the diagram. So this is outer membrane. Next, this is middle membrane. Why we are mentioning middle membrane? 3 membranes are there in it. This is outer membrane. Now I am going to write outer membrane. Okay. Next, this is middle membrane. This middle membrane is also called as stroma. What it is called? Stroma. This is outer membrane. This middle one is called stroma. This stroma contains some enzymes in it. These enzymes are responsible for the photosynthesis process. Okay. Next, I am going to draw the inner membrane. This part is called inner membrane. This inner membrane contains lot of substances in it. This inner membrane contains lot of substances in it. You also draw the diagram along with me. Okay, next. Next, here we are able to identify a loop of DNA. This part is loop of DNA. Loop of DNA. Next, here we can see starch grains also. Starch grains. Loop of DNA. This one is loop of DNA. This is starch grain. Next, some smaller bubble-like structures we can see. These are called as lipid globules. What these are? Lipid globules. These are called as lipid globules. This is the structure of chloroplast. If you observe the chloroplast under the electronic microscope, it has how many membranes? 3 membranes around itself. First one is outer membrane. Next, middle membrane. This middle membrane is called stroma. Okay. Next, this part is inner membrane. Next, in this inner membrane, there is a chance to see some coin-like structures. These coin-like structures are called thylakoids. Coin-like structures are called thylakoids. Okay, so many thylakoids are arranged on one another. These total thylakoids are called granum. What they call? Granum. Okay, so outer membrane. Next middle one is called stroma. Next inner membrane contains some stacked coin-like structures. All these stacked coin-like structures are called as granum. Individual coin is called as thylakoid. Next, some starch grains are present. Starch. Okay. Next, loop of DNA. Loop of DNA is also there in the structure of chloroplast. Okay. What is the use of this chloroplast? Chloroplast is useful to give a color. Which color? Green color to the plant leaves. In order to give green color to the plant leaves, chloroplast contains a pigment. That pigment is called chlorophyll. Chloroplast contains a pigment. That pigment is called chlorophyll. This chlorophyll is again divided into how many types? Two types. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll divided into how many types? Two types. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B. Okay. These both are useful to give green color to the plant leaves. Let us discuss about chlorophyll A. This chlorophyll A is in blue-green color. It is in blue-green color. Next, chlorophyll B. It is a yellow-green in color. Yellow-green in color. Yellow-green in color. So chlorophyll divided into how many types? Two types. What they are? First one is chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll A is in which color? Blue-green in color. Chlorophyll B is in which color? Yellow-green in color. Two types of chlorophylls we can see in case of plant leaves. Okay. So these chlorophyll are usable to give green color to the plant leaves. Next, if you observe the stroma, this stroma already we call middle membrane. Middle membrane contains a fluid-like material that is called stroma. This stroma contains enzymes in it. Enzymes which are useful for the photosynthesis. And this stroma is useful for the enzymatic reactions. Because of the presence of enzymes, this stroma is responsible for the enzymatic reactions. And this stroma is useful to convert glucose into starch. What do you know about starch? Starch is a food material which can be found in plant leaves. Okay. So this stroma is responsible for enzymatic reactions and it converts glucose into starch. Whenever the glucose is converted into starch, then what will happen? Food material will be formed in the plant bodies. Okay. Next one. Inside of that stroma, the inner layer contains some stacked coin-like structures. These stacked coin-like structures are together called granum. Individual coins are called thylakoids. For example, let us see, this is one individual coin. This coin is called thylakoid. This coin is called thylakoid. Next, if number of thylakoids are joined together, then it is called what it is called? It is called granum. It is called granum. Did you understand? Here, in case of inner membrane of chloroplast, there is a chance to see some stacked coin-like structures. Each individual coin is called thylakoid. Next, all the coins that are arranged one to another called granum. Okay, if you observe the granum, there is a chance to see photosynthetic pigments. Photosynthetic pigments are useful to capture the sunlight. Okay, during the photosynthesis process, what will happen? Sunlight will be captured. Then food materials will be prepared. So, in order to capture the food material, capture the sunlight, there is a chance to see photosynthetic pigments in the granum of chloroplast. How many photosynthetic pigments are there? Around 250 to 400 photosynthetic pigments can be seen in the granum area. How many photosynthetic pigments can be seen? Around 250 to 400 photosynthetic pigments can be seen in the granum of chloroplast. What is the use of these photosynthetic pigments? These photosynthetic pigments that are joined together forms a light harvesting complex. Light harvesting means this complex is useful to capture the sunlight. That complex is called a light harvesting complex. Around 250 to 400 what they are 250 to 400 photosynthetic pigments joined together forms a light harvesting complex which can capture the sunlight. As a result of this, what will happen? Whenever the chloroplast capture the sunlight, what will happen? Chloroplast capture the sunlight, then photosynthesis will be completed. Okay. So in this reaction, chlorophyll is also responsible. Chlorophyll is also responsible for the process of photosynthesis. Let us see. Chlorophyll. It is one of the pigment. Pigment means a colored agent which can be seen in plant leaves. Chlorophyll is a pigment. Which pigment? Which colored pigment? Green colored pigment. This, if we observe the structure of chlorophyll, it contains one atom of Mg. Mg means, what do you know about it? Mg means it's a symbol of magnesium. Okay. So if you observe the chlorophyll, it contains one atom of magnesium in it. With the help of this chlorophyll and light harvesting complex present in the granum, what will happen? Photosynthesis will be carried out. During the process of photosynthesis, there is a chance to see mainly three changes. What they are? First one is light energy will be converted into chemical energy. What is the first one? Light energy will be converted into chemical energy. Next, splitting of water molecules we can see. Splitting means a breakdown of water molecules. Next, what is the another one? Reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrate. These three changes we can see during the process of photosynthesis. During the process of photosynthesis, how many changes we can see? Mainly three changes we can see. First one, what is the first one? Light energy will be converted into chemical energy. Next one, splitting of water molecule. Next, third one, reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrate. These three changes we can see during the process of photosynthesis. Okay children, in our previous classes we discussed the structure of nucleus and the structure of plant cell, animal cells also. Now we are going to discuss the structure of organelles. In our previous classes we discussed the structure of mitochondria. Mitochondria is also a organelle. It is also called powerhouse of the cell. Okay. So in the similar way, some organelles we are discussing. Out of these organelles, endoplasmic reticulum. It is also an organelle. Organelle means what in about organelle? Smaller or tiny or microscopic structure which can be seen under an electronic microscope only, called organelle. Okay, so endoplasmic reticulum is also an organelle which can be seen in both plant cell and animal cell. Now we are going to discuss about the structure of endoplasmic reticulum. If you observe the plant cell or animal cell under an electronic microscope, there is a chance to see some network of membranes throughout cytoplasm. These networks of membranes are called endoplasmic reticulum. It acts as like a skeleton in our cell. What acts as like a skeleton in our cell? Endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, network of membranes we can see in our cells. In plant cells also, these network of membranes are called endoplasmic reticulum. If you observe the endoplasmic reticulum, it can be divided into two types: RER, SER. RER means rough endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum. SER means smooth endoplasmic reticulum. RER stands for rough endoplasmic reticulum. SER stands for smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Here, rough endoplasmic reticulum is useful for the manufacture of proteins. Next, smooth endoplasmic reticulum is useful for the manufacture of lipids and fats. Okay. Let us see. What do you know about the functioning of rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum? Like that manner, he will ask you for 2 marks. Rough endoplasmic reticulum is useful for the proteins manufacture. Smooth endoplasmic is useful for the preparation of lipids and fats. It is not only useful for the preparation of lipids and fats, It is also useful to remove toxic drugs in vertebrates. Vertebrates means the animals which consist in backbone are called vertebrates. In vertebrate liver cells. SCR is useful to prepare lipids and fats, and it is also useful to remove toxic drugs in vertebrate liver cells. If it found any toxic drugs in our liver cells, then what will happen? Simply it removes smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, if you observe the structure of endoplasmic reticulum, it looks like this manner. Okay, here there is a chance to see some granules like structures. These granule like structures are called ribosomes. What they call ribosomes? These ribosomes are responsible for the formation of proteins. Okay, here there is a chance to see some granules like structures like this manner. These granules like structures are called ribosomes. If the endoplasmic reticulum contains ribosomes or itself, then it is called rough endoplasmic reticulum. Because of the presence of ribosomes, it acquires some roughness. Okay, that is why this membrane is called rough endoplasmic reticulum. Next, all of you observe this green colored one. This part is called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Here there is no chance to see any granule like structures. This type of endoplasmic reticulum is called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. This smooth endoplasmic reticulum functions already we discussed. It is useful for the manufacture of lipids and fats. In vertebrate liver cells, what will happen? It removes some toxic drugs, means poisonous drugs in vertebrate liver cells. This is information about the endoplasmic reticulum. If you observe the plant cell or animal cell, throughout the cell there is a chance to see network of membrane. That network of membrane is called endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is mainly divided into two types: rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, rough endoplasmic reticulum manufactures proteins. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum manufactures lipids and fats. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum, in case of vertebrate liver cells, it removes toxic drugs. Toxic drugs means some poisonous drugs. Next, if you observe the structure of endoplasmic reticulum, it looks like this manner. It contains some granules over itself. These granules are called ribosomes. These ribosomes are useful for the manufacture of proteins. If endoplasmic reticulum contains ribosomes over itself, it acquires some roughness. Then it is called rough endoplasmic reticulum. This rough endoplasmic reticulum manufactures proteins. If there is no chance to see any ribosomes, then it is called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. This smooth endoplasmic reticulum manufactures lipids and proteins. Okay. Now we are going to discuss the structure of Golgi complex. Okay children, this is structure of Golgi complex. In 8th class biology also you studied Golgi complex. It can be called as Golgi apparatus, Golgi complex or Golgi. Who discovered this Golgi complex? Scientist Golgi discovered this Golgi complex in the year 1898. Who discovered Golgi complex? Scientist Golgi. Camillo Golgi discovered this Golgi complex. Golgi complex, Golgi apparatus or Golgi. Okay, these Golgi bodies we can see in case of plant body cells and also in animal body cells. What it indicates? It's a common organelle in case of plant cell and in case of animal cells also. It can be a common organelle in plant cell and also in animal cells. Golgi complex. Who discovered Golgi complex? Scientist Camillo Golgi discovered Golgi complex in the year 1898. If you observe this Golgi complex, it's a several membranous organelle. Several membranous means what in about several membranous? So many membranes can be found. Several membranous organelle means so many membranes can be seen around this Golgi complex. So many membranes can be seen. If you observe this Golgi complex, there is a chance to see some fluid-filled sac-like structures. Fluid-filled means some bubble-like structures. This is one bubble-like structure. Next, this is also. Next one, this is also. Next, this is also. Some bubble-like structures we can see along with some tubes and sheets. For example, this is a fluid bubble. This is one sheet. Next, this is also a sheet. This sheet is attached to this bubble-like structure. Some fluid-filled bubble-like structures, some tubes, sheets, fluid-filled bubbles, like structures. And tubes, sheets, we can see in case of this Golgi complex. What is the use of this Golgi complex? This Golgi complex is useful for packaging of materials. It is useful for packaging of materials. Packaging of materials. It is useful for packaging of materials. It packs various substances and it sends these substances from one organelle to another organelle within the cell. Okay, sometimes it can be sent these materials toward the cell membrane also. If cell membrane is ruptured or repaired, then these materials are useful for repairing the cell membrane. Okay, so Golgi complex is useful for secretion, nothing but transportation of materials. Who discovered this Golgi complex? Camillo Golgi discovered Golgi complex in which year? 1898. It says several membranous organelle. It contains several membranes around itself. Next, fluid-filled bubble-like structures can be seen along with the tubes and sheets. For example, this is a fluid-filled bubble-like structure. This is also one bubble-like structure. Next, here also 3 bubbles we can see. These 3 bubbles are attached to the tubes or sheets-like structures. Okay, like this manner we can see Golgi complex in plant cell and also in animal cell. What is the use of this Golgi complex? This Golgi complex is useful for packaging of material. It is useful for sending the materials, secretion of materials from one organelle to another organelle within the cell. Next, from one organelle to another organelle within the cell, or it may send these materials towards the cell membrane. Sometimes it is useful for repairing the cell membrane also. These materials are useful for repairing the cell membrane. Okay children, now we are discussing 2 more topics. What they are cells flat? Question mark. Are cells flat? Next topic is where does the cells come from? Where does cells come from? These 2 topics we are going to discuss in this class. Let us see. Are cells flat? What do you know about the structure of plant cell? In our previous classes we drawn the structure of plant cell like this one. What do you know about the animal cell? We draw the structure of animal cell like this manner. Okay, if you use the electronic microscope to observe the plant cell or animal cell under the electronic microscope, these cells, plant cell or maybe the animal cell, they looks like flat in manner. Okay, but actually they are having certain breadth and also having certain length. Okay, but if you use the compound microscope or any other microscope, there is no chance to see the thickness of the cell. There is no chance to see the thickness of the cell. For example, all of you observe this. Okay, let us consider this as a cell. If you observe this under the electronic microscope, it looks like flat, but actually it contains some breadth and also some length. Okay, but we are unable to watch this length and breadth under the electronic microscope. Basing on this information, what we can say, are cells flat? Say yes or no? No. Cells looks like flat in manner, but they are having certain breadth and length also. We are unable to see the thickness of the cell under the electronic microscope. Finally, we can say that the no, obviously, no, answer is no. Okay, cells are not flat in manner. They are having certain length and breadth also. Next, where does the cells come from? Where does the cells come from? We are multicellular organisms, means millions of tiny cells are there. Plants are also multicellular organisms. Sometimes if we met an accident, then what will happen? What will happen? There is a chance to see some cells will die in those particular places. How does the new cells will becomes at that area, in that area? Because of the pre-existing cells. Who told this information? We are going to discuss about them. In the year 1838 and 1839, two scientists they came to investigation field. They are first one Schleiden. He was a botanist. Botanist means what do you know about botanist? A scientist who studies plants called botanist. Next, Schwann. He was a zoologist. Zoologist means he studied animals. Okay. In the year 1838 and 39, Schleiden and Schwann both they came to investigation field. Here Schleiden, a botanist. Schwann, zoologist. Okay, both they proposed a theory. That theory called cell theory. What they proposed? Cell theory. They proposed in that cell theory. They explained everything about the cell, even though they didn't explain how the new cells were formed. They were failed to explain new cells how they formed. Okay, in the later 1850, one scientist came to investigation field. That scientist, Rudolf von Virchow. Rudolf von Virchow came to investigation field. He was one of the proponent of cell theory. Okay, he was explained that how the new cells were formed. According to his opinion, in our body, there is a chance to see some special named cells. These cells are called pre-existing cells. Pre-existing cells. Okay, he was told that the pre-existing cells are responsible for the formation of new cells. If we met an accident, our cells will be damaged. How the new cells will be formed? From the pre-existing cells. Who told this information? Rudolf von Virchow told this information. Okay, and he proposed two important points. What they are? All the living organisms, or organisms means living organisms, are composed of cells. Composed means their body will be accompanied with the cells. Composed of cells. Okay na? Next, new cells come from pre-existing cells. Okay, according to his opinion, all the organisms, living organisms, are composed of cells, and new cells come from pre-existing cells. This is very, very important information about Rudolf von Virchow. Okay, where does the cells come from? This topic. In the year 1838-39, Schleiden and Schwann both they proposed cell theory in order to explain about the formation of cells. Okay, Schleiden was a botanist, Schwann was a zoologist. These are also important for bits. So Schwann was a zoologist. Both they proposed cell theory. Even though they proposed cell theory, they failed to explain about the formation of cells. Okay, this was overcome by the scientist Rudolf von Virchow. In the year 1850, Rudolf von Virchow proposed information about the formation of new cells. According to his opinion, pre-existing cells can be there in our body. These pre-existing cells are responsible for the formation of new cells in our body. Okay, did you understand? According to his opinion, all the organisms, means living organisms, are composed of cells. Next, new cells are always comes from the pre-existing cells. Okay, now let us see our cells flat. Our cells flat means obviously we can say no. Cells are not flat in manner. Under an electronic microscope, plant cell or animal cell looks like flat, but actually they are having a certain breadth and length. Because of this reason, we can say no to this question. Our cells flat means no, they are not flat in manner. Looks like flat. Okay, if we use the electronic microscope, we cannot see the thickness of the cells. Okay, children. Today with this class, about 9th class chapter 1 total topics are completed. We have pending of activities. In our next class, totally I will do our next class on activities. One lab activity and 3 activities are there. With these 4 activities, I will conclude our chapter 1. Cells, its structures and functions. Our chapter 1 is going to finish. After that, we will directly enter into chapter 2. What is our chapter 2? Plant tissues. Next chapter 3, animal tissues. Okay, gentlemen. Thank you.